Good morning. How y'all doing? This is a touch up on the testimony of the airline pilots who testified seeing objects in space, the UFOs, and one of the Navy guys attesting to seeing alien life forms, the bodies of alien life forms, that they were alien, not human. That's kind of weird for them to say that in open court, because even the gray aliens are humanoid. To be technical, they're humanoid, which means that they stand on two legs, they have two hands, two arms, um, 2 feet, one head, and a body. That's a humanoid. Um, but so for them to, I think what they should have asked, were they earthling or non-earthling? That is the more political correct way of asking, or humanoid, you know. Um, if they were aliens, can you guarantee that they weren't earthlings? And if they weren't earthlings, if they actually were aliens, would they be considered humanoid? And that's the more appropriate thing to ask, which their wording was just kind of strange to me. That being said, there's some skepticism about this. That, like, so what? What good is it to know that it is? And then to top it all off, the physical evidence concerning the footage, it's the same gritty crap that you see in the 1980s, back when it was recorded off of the home video cameras, the remote video cameras for us normal people, for us regular everyday citizens. The skepticisms there, they have solid ground to stand on. Okay, they're not wrong in saying this. And one of the things that I brought up also, and that I'm going to bring up again, is the fact that Big Whoop, NASA is renamed into Space Force. There's nothing about Space Force that lives up to its name. And then to top it all off, the billionaires that are using the technology and all this stuff to make rockets go into space, particularly this Musk fellow, Elon Musk, big wow, it's a billionaire with his toys, Now, granted, I understand it's $1 billion toy, and it's probably in use with NASA dollars, which is our tax-paying dollars. There's nothing exciting about that when you come down to it. Them, following Trump's orders, who said, you will reveal what the truth about what's going on with aliens and the spacecraft and all this other stuff. Okay, so they did. And they've got aliens in captivity, their dead bodies and all that. That's the alien autopsy scandal all over again, So it just makes sense for all the skepticisms and all the people who are not thrilled to death about it. Some people they're like, man, how come nobody's talking about this? How come nobody's focused in on this? Well, no offense. It's because it's the same old, same old. This time it's no longer secret footage exposed that's left up to skepticism and to saying, it's just a hoax, it's just a propaganda hoax, it's entertainment scandal, it's conspiracy theory entertainment, and all this stuff. Well, now we've got military people and pilots and all these people that were a part of the program that are saying, sorry, there's a mosquito in here. There's all of them that are saying that it's true, that it's factual, and all this other stuff. So there's some people out here, even here in my workplace, that are like, man, why isn't anybody touching on this subject more seriously? No offense to all of you that are have high hopes of diving into it, more depth investigations and stuff. But technically, we've already known that it's a fact. We didn't really need the government or any agent of the government to say it is true, you know. And everything's so lightly touched on because somebody's going to go through some paranoid bullcrap, some form of paranoia. Independence Day all over again. And when the fact of the matter is we're just not important enough to be invaded. And of course, there is the War of the Worlds theory, that if an alien comes here to Earth, he'll die. The alien will die because they can't stand the many bacteria and the many life forms that grow, the mites, the microorganisms, the viruses, as well as the pollution. The pollution that we cause can be harmful to the aliens. And that's why at the end of that story, all of the aliens that invaded the Earth died. And the narrator says, mankind has earned its place in this planet. So for some alien to come down here and think that they can just take over, it's not that simple. So those theories aside and those questions aside and all this stuff, the fact of the matter is we're not getting invaded. We don't have an invasion taking place. These are not signs of an alien invasion just because the military and the government says it's true that aliens exist and UFOs have been flying in and out of our stars this entire time. It's just silly to go into a state of panic. And again, my speculation, the sole reason why it's being approved to declare it a fact by our leaders is just to make up for the idiocy that the space program has been going through, being renamed Space Force and yet doing nothing to create a Space Force, off of our tax-paying dollars. How much of our tax-paying dollars went to that? How much of our tax-paying dollars actually went to the agency, and how much of it did our politicians pocket? And why shouldn't they, or why is that so hard to believe? They did it with the mortgage and all of the housing communities that have been popping up all over the place. They're doing it by way of collecting their fair share after landlords evict people. They do it the mortgage and housing crisis. They're doing it through the medicines, COVID, all these corporations getting checks to create more vaccine. Full well the politicians pocketed some of that money. So how is it hard to believe that money has been taken out of NASA and out of our tax-paying dollars to pay for Elon Musk's big thing of sending a rocket up into space and all this good stuff? It's total bullcrap. It is total bullcrap. It is 100% real that the politicians stole money and took their fair share and all this stuff. It doesn't cost $1 billion to rename or retitle an agency, calling that Space Force, and then calling NAFTA USMC, which is the equivalent of the U.S. Marine Corps. It's dumb. It doesn't cost $1 billion. It doesn't cost $1 trillion. It doesn't even cost $1 million to rename something. But hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars has been spent on it, and there's nothing to show for it. So the majority, don't get me wrong, it worked. The plan worked. Everybody is now thinking about aliens and alien autopsies and possible Independence Day movies and possible Independence Day scenarios and conspiracy theories. It worked just by the government allowing some of this stuff to say that it's fact. But the ugly reality of it all is that it's all just to make up for the worthlessness of productivity and absolutely nothing to show for in the past changes to it, the past things that have been changed to it, renaming it, something else, and not living up to that title. These things are all just, partial cover-ups. Hey, nice dog. Somebody walking a dog. Okay, but yeah, naming it Space Force and not actually building a Space Force, watching a billionaire launch a rocket up into space. And, of course they're going to give this testimony and making it fact. They got to make up for this bull crap that we've all been looking at with nothing to show for it. And that's really all that it is to it. I had to retouch this subject because in the beginning, I started off very mega positive with that. If this is going to be leading to some kind of changes, then we should vote for a president that brings up a space program that will actually be a space program and live up to its potential. And I still stand by that. But there's still more talk and more hype and more garbage going on about the testimony of the government finalizing the sightings as factual. And that's where I have to come back and state, big whoop. There's an ugly reality to it. And this is it, So I just wanted to vent that out, let that out into the air. Those who are for more info and for more investigations and all that, I'm with you. But I'm also along the side of the skeptics. We need to do more than just have this kind of garbage, renaming stuff and looking at billionaires have their fun, especially with our tax-paying dollars. Because it costs money to fly something into space, fly something in our air, and all this good stuff. To have it authorized, yeah. So, yeah. I'm with both sides right now. We need to have both sides looked at and both sides being approved by our leader, not just our presidential administration, but all of our political leaders. This is one where they need our approval, plain and simple, and it needs to be taken care of on both sides of the issue. Through favoritism and skepticism. Okay, it's now getting closer in time for me to clock on to work. I'm going to be taking off. Y'all take care. Y'all take it easy. Have a safe weekend. And, keep on looking out for each other. Keep on keeping on. It's Chris with Chris's Comments, signing out.